Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammed ZHARFAN the ZULKEFLI, and I'm from D2BA 2423B. So as for my part, I will explain to you the background of the Mexico. Mexico is a land of extreme with the high mountains and deep canyons and the center of the country, sweeping desert in the north and dense rainforests in the south and east. Mountains cover much of the Mexico, between the Sierra Madre Oriental Mountains range in the east and the Sierra Madre Occidental in the west lies small mountain range on the central plateau. The economy of Mexico is a developing mixed market economy. It is the 14th largest in the world in nominal GDP terms and the 13th largest by purchasing power parity. So according to the International Monetary Fund, since 1994, crisis administration have improved the country's microeconomic fundamentals. So Mexico was not significantly influenced by 2002 South American crisis and maintained positive, although low rates of growth after a brief period of stagnation in 2001. However, Mexico was one of the Latin America nations most affected by the 2008 recession, with its gross domestic product contracting by more than 6% in that year. So the gross domestic product (GDP) in Mexico was worth 1,414.19 billion US dollar in 2022, according to the official data from the World Bank. So the GDP value of Mexico represents 0.63% of the world economy. The GDP in Mexico, starting from 1990s until 2022, it's showing the upward trend, because in 1992 it's recorded very low, but in 2022, a year back ago, we can see it's recorded the highest, which is 1,414.19 billion US dollar, which is the highest.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AMIRUL SHAHZRAN bin YAHAYE. I'm from MBA 2423B, and today I will present about the history of the Mexican currency. So let's get started. So for the history of Mexican currency, dates back to pre-Columbian times when indigenous civilization used various commodities such as cocoa beans, cotton, and seeds as a form of money for trade. These items were used for bartering and as a medium of exchange. And after the Spanish conquest of Mexico in the 16th century, the Spanish introduced their own currency, including silver coins known as reals. Over time, the Spanish reals became widely used in the region. When Mexico gained independence from Spain in 1821, it started issuing its own coins, and the first Mexican currency was the real. In 1823, the currency was changed to the peso, which was initially based on the Spanish dollar. The Mexican peso was linked to the value of silver, and it became the official currency of the newly independent nation. So today, the official currency of Mexico is still the Mexican peso, and its banknotes and coins continue to be used in daily transactions. The Central Bank of Mexico, Banco de Mexico, is responsible for issuing and regulating the currency to ensure its stability and integrity. That's all from me. Thank you.
As you can see in the graph showing annual GDP growth in the Mexico from 1980 to 2020, the Mexican economy was weathered many challenges over the years. In 2009, the GDP took a massive negative dip. This was synchronized with the financial crisis of 2008 until 2009 that affected almost all global economies. Mexico recovered, and between 2010 until 2018 showed positive growth. In 2019, Mexico's growth rate went negative for the first time in a decade, dipping to negative 0.05%. According to the World Bank, Compared to similar economies, Mexico underperformed in terms of poverty reduction, growth, and inclusion. The economy contracted by 8.24% in 2020, experiencing demand and supply shocks caused by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. So for the inflation, during the period June 1988 until March 1999, the monthly rate of inflation in Mexico responded significantly to adjustment in public sector prices and to lag values of domestic inflation, imported inflation, and monetary expansion, but showed little reaction to lag values of which changes. Regarding contemporaneous effects, the response to imported inflation and monetary expansion was weak, while the reaction to wage changes was significant but negative. So for the unemployment in Mexico is becoming more and more troubling. Young Mexicans are the segment of the population that is most affected, suffering unemployment rate twice as high as those among adults. Even worse, better educated professionals have the highest unemployment rate. Government effort to raise educational levels in order to promote economic development have failed. Some people blame the neoliberal economic model, claiming it puts too high a priority on price stability, limits investment, restrict wage growth, and make conditions even more precarious for the unemployment. It is a situation that has forced the government to permit indiscriminate growth in the informal underground economy. Still, other critics cite increased immigration to the United States as proof of Mexico's inability to generate the jobs that people demand.
So I will continue with the descriptive statistic for Mexico. For Mexico, the highest median for Mexico is inflation rate, which is 5.030, 727,332, and also the lowest median is current account balance, which is negative 1.503, 530, 562695. For this country, the highest mean is inflation rate, which is 8.499 to 44218, and the lowest mean is on current account balance, which is negative 1.7164 9398. For standard deviation, the highest standard deviation is on inflation rate, which is 8.3172 69384, and the lowest standard deviation is on unemployment rate, which is 0.9940 6605. Correlation, inflation rate that related to exchange rates for Mexico, the value is 0.37. It shows that it has positive correlation. However, the value of adjusted R square is 0.084, so have a positive significance and accepting the null hypothesis. Last one for the p-value. P-value for the f-test is 0.151. The value, we can see that the null hypothesis is accepted.
So in conclusion, the currency of Mexico has a rich and diverse history that dates back to pre-Columbian times, when indigenous civilization used various commodities for trade. After the Spanish colonization, the Spanish reals were introduced, followed by the adoption of the Mexican peso, gaining independence in 1831. So over the years, Mexico experienced various economic and political challenges, leading to currency reforms and changes in denomination and designs of banknotes and coins. Notably, the introduction of the Nuevo Peso in 1993 helped stabilize the economy during a period of economic crisis. Today, the Mexican peso continues to be an essential part of daily transaction in the country, reflecting the economic and historical development of Mexico's financial system. That's all from me. Thank you.